afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lifestyle with Dr. Moby. I'm Dr. Moby, and today we have great guest from Germany all the way. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, and thank you for having me today, Dr. Moby. This is a pleasure.
Yes, same here, same here. I was so excited when I read his achievement, and I can share actually with some of my viewers later. But I think I give stage to you to describe yourself, Jake.
Sure, no problem. I'm originally from South Louisiana, a little town called Lafayette. I
Mhm.
went to college in Atlanta, Georgia for a couple of years, went back to Lafayette, and I wasn't exactly, how do I say this, satisfied with what I was achieving. I was basically working as a waiter in a restaurant, and I just wasn't where I thought I should be. When I was at university, I studied European history and philosophy. So I thought, I want to go to Europe. So I packed my bags, came over to Europe for a little while, and realized this is some place I could spend some time. Went back home, put everything into storage. I hopped on a plane, and I ended up in a little town called Garmisch-Partenkirchen, Germany, where I worked for the American military, who have a small American military base there, teaching soldiers how to ski and working in their restaurant and working in one of their hotels. And then from there, I kept traveling. I ended up in Austria for a while. I was in Italy for a little while. Went to Holland for a short period of time. But this little town of Garmisch, it always captured my heart, and I always kept coming back until eventually I decided it's home. And I've been here now pretty much consistently for about 16 years. I married a girl from here, and I have 2 daughters.
Very nice, very nice. And, I wanted to kind of show your achievement and two-liners actually for everybody to see that. Thank you for kind of going over that with. So I think what really impressed me, how you came up with ideas, and with, COVID has affected a lot of our industries, as we all know. And I think we all have to come up with creative ideas to come up with solutions. And I think when I read yours as well, he has really a good insight on what he's doing. Of course, COVID has really hit hard on a lot of industries, especially, the restaurant business, right? So.
Exactly. Dr. Moby, you said it correctly. I started off actually as a tour guide. I owned a tour guide company here in Bavaria, 2 of them, which were very successful for the past 11 years. One, which was called All Things Garmisch, which did day tours to Neuschwanstein Castle, Munich, Salzburg, Innsbruck. And then my other business was called Bavarian Beer Vacations, which is pretty self-explanatory. And for 11 years, I had a staff on any given year of anywhere from 3 tour guides all the way up to 8. And then last year, and honestly, it is the anniversary today, Dr. Moby.
Oh, wow.
of the event. I was, my wife and I had gone to South Africa, and we were visiting some friends. When we came back, it was February 6th. By February 17th, I had lost 120,000 euros in confirmed bookings and had given back over 16,000 euros in deposits.
Oh my
God. And by today, March 25th, I closed the doors on my 2 tour guide businesses. It was devastating. I spent a lot of time in my living room on the couch wearing the same T-shirt and dirty pants until eventually my wife, she kicked me out of the house, and she hosed me down, so to speak. And told me to go and visit with some friends and connect. And so I did. I went and visited with several friends of mine who live in Garmisch, one of which owned a restaurant, a very amazing restaurant called the Schrane. And he was lamenting how he had lost his chefs, how he had to let them go, and how he didn't know if he's going to be able to bring them back, and how it was just devastating his entire industry. And that got me thinking. You see, by March 25th, a lot of the larger platforms that I had worked with as a travel agent and as a tour guide, such as Viator, Expedia, Booking.com, Tours by Local, Get Your Guide, and Airbnb, they were trying to pivot into these virtual tours. And I just didn't see that working. But when I talked to my friend Philip, who owned that restaurant, and he was talking about how he was losing his chefs. It made me think about how many chefs around the world were losing their jobs because of COVID, how the hospitality industry was just taking a hit. And I thought, we got to be able to do something to help. And I started taking this idea and playing with the idea of taking a virtual tour, but let's make it something fun for a chef, where a chef can connect with somebody or anywhere in the world and teach them how to cook a meal, or teach them a kitchen skill, or teach them a recipe. And that's the foundations for my new business, which is called Deri Dari.
Deri Dari. Yeah. Very nice name.
Yeah.
How did you come up with the name?
Well, Deri Dari is actually, it's a very old word. It means, it started off meaning a cash payment. And it was actually used here in Bavaria, originated from Italy, which was called Deri Dari. And what happens is the terminology began to be used here in Bavaria when markets moved from Bolzano, Italy, to a small town called Mothballed, Germany. And this market, they brought a lot of Italian traders north. And when they would say they want to pay something in cash, they would say, Deri Dari. Well, the Bavarians kind of took that and kind of made it their own. And it became Deri Dari. And then in the 1600s, you had the 30 Years' War between 1618 and 1648. And 3/4 of the population of most of the Holy Roman Empire was killed. And so nobody had any cash. Nobody had any money. So Deri Dari became an exchange of services. And Dr. Moby, when I built this business, I couldn't do it alone. And so I needed help. And I went to people I knew I could trust, good people who had worked with me in the American military in Garmisch-Partenkirchen. And the founders are myself, a man by the name of Anthony Bandolin, who is a full stack programmer who also worked with me in Garmisch for the American military. And then Jonathan Graver, who is a chef overseeing 6 restaurants. He's the third founder. And then there's also Laura Stutchley, who's in charge of all of our logistics. And all 4 of us at one time or another worked in Garmisch. And around the corner from where we all lived was a bar called Deri Dari. And so I thought, come on, it just makes complete sense that we name our business Deri Dari. So, yeah, that's where we got the name from.
Quite cool name. So then, you had also spent time with armed forces. You said you were, oh, great. How many years did you do?
Well, I never served in the military. I worked for those who served.
Oh, well.
Correct. I worked for Armed Forces Recreation Centers Europe, where I taught skiing. I also worked in several other hotels. And then I went on to work with my own business, all things Garmisch tours and outdoor recreation, doing contract work for the Red Cross and for the Wounded Warrior Project, where I would take these soldiers that were in what was called the transition units. And I would take them here to Garmisch-Partenkirchen, show them around, take them horseback riding, take them to BMW in Munich, where they could meet some of the engineers, and try and provide them with some entertainment.
No, I have also served with the Wounded Warrior program, so I know exactly what you're talking about. We had a lot of soldiers, by the way, from Germany, so I know a lot. I met a lot of folks there, but they are really always talk very highly about Germany. I know.
Yeah,
people
from
love
Ramstein.
Yeah, they had great memories. I think. They loved the place, and so I always had positive feedback about it. So also tell me, so how is it going so far? How is the experience going so far?
It's been a journey. We came up with the idea around March 25th. I brought in Anthony and asked him if this was feasible. Could we build this? And being a full stack programmer who had worked as a lead at booking.com, he said, yeah, not only can we build it, I want to be a part of it. And then I brought in Jonathan, who, as I said, oversees 6 restaurants here in the Alps. All 3 of us expats living in Germany. We came up with this plan and we began to put it into motion. June of 2020, we registered the business as an LLC in the state of Louisiana. And by October of 2020, we were already doing testing. And by December of 2020, we had our beta. We are now in 2021. As of January of 2021, we were selected out of 4,200 startups by the World Business Angels Investment Forum to be selected to go on for due diligence. Wow. And our business itself, we were very blessed. And our business itself is doing quite well. We have currently over 43 chefs who have signed up to the platform. They sign up for free. All we do is vet them to make sure that they have the capability to create a live, interactive cooking experience. And then they sign up, they create their own content, their own recipes, meal plans, or kitchen skills, which they then sell at their own pricing on our platform. And then customers from around the world can come and choose a chef, choose a meal, and they can book it by household. Meaning, Dr. Moby, you can connect with your friends and family anywhere in the world. And all of you come together into our virtual kitchen with our chef, and you get to cook a meal together. So it's a lot of fun. And in the United States and most of the major cities in the United States and most of the East Coast, we have ingredient delivery as well. So if you want, we can ship you all the ingredients you need for your live interactive course that you're going to have with your chef. And wow. The video conferencing is embedded in our platform. So basically you book, you wait for your date. We'll send you emails to let you know the date and time. We're going to give you recipes. We're going to give you all the stuff you need for the course itself, including prep videos from your chef. And then on the date and time of your live experience, boom, right there on our platform, there's your chef, there's your friends and family, all in that virtual kitchen, waiting to cook with you.
What a cool idea! What a cool idea! So that is really. Now tell me, I know you have also participated and I'm sure cooked a lot of dishes. Tell me, what cuisine do you normally make?
Ironically, I love Cajun food. Being from South Louisiana, it's in my blood. My father and my grandmother on my father's side were exquisite chefs. My father still is an exquisite chef. And so they taught me the foundations of really good Southern Cajun food. And I love it still to this day.
And so you love Cajun. And then what do you cook mostly? Is it seafood or chicken or vegetable?
Depends on you got it. Depends on the time of year. One of the chefs on our platform, her name is Sabine, and she is an amazing Creole chef. And so she and I love to swap stories. I love making a gumbo, of course, in the fall. And to make a gumbo is a full day process. You have to start with, of course, a bottle of beer, and then you get your flour and your peanut oil, and you make your dark roux, and then you throw in a little bit of onions and bell peppers to kind of cool it down. And then you start adding the chicken, the sausage, the shrimp, whatever you want to make it put inside. And then we have this really unique dish in South Louisiana called a pistolette, which is basically bread that's up with like a crawfish étouffée. It's so good. Oh, I love trying to make that over here. And then, of course, an étouffée, you can never go wrong. And then my wife, who is born and bred here in Bavaria, every time we go to Louisiana, she has to get a boudin. And boudin is basically sausage that's stuffed with rice and minced meat and onions and bell peppers. And she adores it. And so do I.
Wow. Wow. Now, Bavaria is actually famous for wine, right?
Bavaria is not famous for wine. No, they're famous for beer. Yeah, but no, Bavaria, interestingly enough, there's the Rhineland region, which does produce some wines, but they're not that good in my personal opinion. Bavaria, though, where I am, which is the lowest state in Germany, located right on the border of Austria, pretty close to Switzerland, is famous for beer. In fact, Bavaria likes to consider themselves to be the founders of beer. Oh, that's not true. Beer goes back to the birth of mankind, to the old Fertile Crescent, to Mesopotamia, to Egypt. But basically here in Bavaria, depending on which historian you read, they were the first ones to really herald in the usage of hops in beer. Mm-hmm. In fact, still to this day, there's a region of Bavaria called the Hallertau, which produces 43% of the hops used in beer worldwide.
Wow. But they love beer, and then you said what do they have usually with beer? Would they like a barbecue or wings, or what goes with it?
Oh goodness, they love pork. They eat so much pork around here, and they love it smothered in gravy with their dumplings and with their purple cabbage and their sour cabbage. That's their traditional dishes, like the pork knuckle, or the Schweinehaxen is called, or the Schweinebraten, which is a slow roasted pork steak. And then for them, beer is breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So on Sundays, they'll go to church, because here in Bavaria, they're still very Catholic. Mm-hmm. At the end of the 30 Years' War, Bavaria remained Catholic. And so Sundays, the local farmers dressed in their lederhosen, they go to church, and then they'll go to the local bar where they're going to have breakfast, which is going to be a wheat beer made with 50% wheat malt with a top fermenting yeast. And they couple that with a white sausage, a pretzel, and some sweet mustard.
Mhm.
And then you move into lunch, which is traditionally what's called brotzeit. Now, brotzeit is just basically breads, hams, cheeses, onions, pickles. Just put it on a table with some fresh radishes and some salt. And that you usually couple with a light beer, like what they call a Helles around here, which literally Helles means light beer.
Mhm.
And then for dinner, that's when you get to the pork. That's where you have the pork knuckle with the gravy on top of it. And you're going to have the dumplings and the cabbage. And that's going to be with a nice dark beer, which is called a dunkel, which is really good as well.
Oh wow, they must have loved with all of them, breakfast, lunch, and okay, great. And so tell me, what was the response of the community when they learned that you were doing this? I mean, they must be very impressed. Oh, look at.
Well, it's been a journey. Deri Dari, we launched in the United States, in Louisiana as an LLC. We just registered as a C Corp in Delaware called Deri Dari Global, with the intentions of bringing Deri Dari to Germany within the next 3 months. So we've already started doing our research as to how we're going to set up our foundations here. We've already got our ingredient delivery set up. And so it has been received quite well. And so we're really excited to move in that direction, which is coming very, very soon. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
been fun.
So do you have a website app or is it both?
Oh, of course, we have a website. It's www.deri, there it is,
Okay.
DARI
Dairy
.com.
Dari. Okay.
There you go.
And let
Let's
me
see, I've even got it. I got it right here on a spoon for you too.
well, let me put for audience. I'll show them your website.
Sure.
Dairy Dari. Okay. .com.
Perfect.
DairyDari.com, right?
Correct.
Okay. So let's share it with the audience so they can look at it too. Okay. Mm. Okay. Yeah. Family dinner. Back to the dinner. Right.
There you are.
Okay.
As you can see, there's our head chefs, some of our amazing chefs right there listed with some
Wow.
of their great recipes. And as you can see, their availability is listed. But if you don't see the availability you want, all you have to do is contact the chef direct. We have open communication between customer and chef, allowing you to customize your booking in any way, shape, or form. It is bookable for up to 6 households. But like I said, contact the chef and you can bring in more or less, whatever your heart desires. You can book it for just 1 household, so just you alone. And
This
that
is
right there.
this is so cool.
Oh,
You have the kids cooking camp. Wow.
exactly. Dr. Moby, that's coming soon. Starting May 28th, we have our kids cook camp from ages 8 all the way to 19. For the 8-year-olds, we're going to group the kids in groups of 4 to 6 with one chef. And they're going to learn how to make pizza dough. They're going to learn how to make pie crusts, and they're going to get to meet kids from around the world. It's going to be so much fun. And they get their own chef kit with their chef hat, and they're going to get their own tools for their kitchen so that they can continue to nurture this development in the kitchen. And then for kids all the way up to age 18 and 19 years old, we're going to give them life hacks. We're going to teach them the foundations that they need to move out on their own and be successful in the kitchen, how to prep a chicken, how to meal plan, and how to have a healthy lifestyle while living on a budget. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're super excited about our kids cook camp this summer.
Now, the whole concept is very nice, very neat. I love it, because, I think for audience, just to, whoever is watching, just and is gonna air again and again, many, many times. So, everybody watching, this is what we can do when we believe in ourselves again, and then, I'm sure it's like all of us, we were so sad with loss of income, with loss of everything, pretty much our liberty and everything here and wherever in the world. But I think the main thing is that, like you said, you were sad and you were not even changing your clothes and sitting for hours on the couch and then just
Exactly.
came and look now where you are. So I am sure many months or years ago, you never ever thought this could be like that, right?
Very true. Yeah, there's 2 things there. One, what I learned is you have to have family, somebody that you can lean on, somebody that you can trust. And for me, that was my wife, my children, my mother, my father, my stepmother. These people were the foundations I needed to lift myself back up. And then I'm going to steal a line from a TV show that I like called Star Trek Discovery. One of the last episodes, the captain, he was in this very dire straight situation. The walls were coming down. He wasn't sure he was going to live.
Yeah.
And he looked to his crew, and with very stern soberness, he said, even in fear, we can step forward. And that sunk in. That sunk in.
Yeah.
That sunk in. And right then and there, I knew that even in fear, I could step forward. I could be lifted back up using my family. My family would lift me up, and I could step forward. And that's how I've created Deri Dari.
Great story, and wish you all the success in the world. And we pray for your success as well as
thank you, Dr. Moby.
Being example for so many people who will be inspired by your story. So, who is behind you? Is that your family?
Oh, that's my two daughters. That's going to be. This is Annabelle, my oldest. She's now 10, and this is my youngest, Miriam, and she is now 6. Right. Those are my two girls. Yeah, that was taken at Disney World a while back.
That's very nice. So, what do you anticipate in next 6 months, 9 months? I understand you said you're trying to do some kids project coming up next, right?
Well, we have 3 major milestones we're looking to achieve within the next 6 months. First, of course, is our Kids Cook Camp successful, fully booked. We also want to bring Deri Dari to Germany. We've already got ingredient delivery, a relationship built with a company called Eats GmbH, who's going to do our ingredient delivery here in Germany so we can bring the platform here. And thirdly, I'm really excited about this. Within the next 6 months, we're going to start doing marketing and PR with CSA boxes in the United States. So these CSA boxes that deliver fresh fruits and fresh vegetables to your home. Not everybody knows how to cook with an artichoke. So why don't you open that box up and find a flyer inside of it that says Deri Dari, and it's got a QR code, and you can use your phone, click on it, and there's a live chef to say, hey, you got an artichoke? Come on, I'll unbox it with you. We'll look at everything that's inside there, and we're going to figure out a great meal that you can cook with what's inside. Wow. So that's our next big project. I'm super excited about that one.
Yes, I am very excited to even hear that. So I think, that is such a fun way to even listen. And I think that's going to really open up a lot of avenues. And we hope that, your success brings a lot of a lot of people are sad. A lot of people are feeling with COVID has taken away almost life for a lot of. And, not only taken financial hit, but emotional, big time, a lot of sadness, despair, like you said, even in darkness or even in fear, you can take step forward, and that's beautiful line. So I think any final thoughts you have for our audience?
Keep your head up, keep looking forward. If you look back too long, you're going to get a crick in your neck. Just look forward. Use your family to lift you back up. And like we said earlier, Dr. Moby, that we stole from Star Trek, even in fear, you can step forward. So those are my final thoughts. And of course, come and join us at Deri Dari, and we'd love to cook with you.
Sure, I would love to try your Deri Dari once. I love different cuisines, and I had a Polish friend, and I think they made. I think they have a special cabbage or something they make, right?
Ooh, that sounds good. Yes, we have the sauerkraut, the blaukraut, and all kinds of good stuff.
Yeah. So it was really good. I think they cooked for me, so it was great. And I would love to kind of experiment and check your website. And please check out. It's amazing, even to hear. And I think that's what is all about, to help each other and kind of support businesses like yours and nearby. So make sure. I think that's the best thing anyone can do right now, is support each other and then hope for the best, right?
Very true. Very true.
Okay, thank you, and come again anytime. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Moby, for having me today. This has been a pleasure.
Thank you, sir.